Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters. And we've got an absolutely awesome game for you as soon as I pop up that display. And let's introduce the players. So down at the bottom right side of the map, it is going to be Life. He is 17 years old from South Korea and he plays for the StarTail team. And his opponent, of course, up the top left side of the map, it is going to be TaeJa. He is, what is he? He's 19 years old from South Korea and plays for Team Liquid. So some of the youngest, but definitely some of the best players that we've ever seen. And this actually looks like it's from the grand final. It's 2-3 so far. So yeah, definitely some very, very awesome games going on here. And the drone, oh no, it's close. It was close to getting that, but another SCV coming out manages to scare it away. And that drone quite annoying, but yeah, what are you going to do? It's just going to keep coming up. Of course, the drone's regeneration is going to be much better than the Terran player's regeneration, because of course the Terran player doesn't have any regeneration at all. But yeah, they should be able to deal with that drone quite easily. And of course, you'd prefer not to reveal the Reaper before he absolutely has to. So that should be fine. And meanwhile, Life just pretty much going for the hatch into pool build, fairly standard stuff. And the Reaper is not really going to worry him at all. Actually sending the initial Overlord all the way over there, so doesn't even want to risk being spotted by a potential expansion straight off. I don't know if TaeJa is going to go for a potential expansion. He's probably, he's already got an orbital, so yeah, looks like he is actually going to be saving up for that expansion. Going for it nice and early, definitely a good idea against a Zerg player. And because of course the Zerg are going to be heavily focusing on macro early on in the game, and we'd be very surprised not to be seeing a third base coming out for Life. So yeah, I suppose this is just the calm before the storm, I suppose you could say. The Reaper doesn't really counter the storm. Oh yes, very nice micro by Life. Although, oh, that worker, man, is very close. This worker is very close. Where are the lings, man? He should have been getting the lings already, but or trying to get those workers. If he runs around the backside, he may be able to take out a couple of them. Boom, there goes one. Boom, is he going to get another one? There's a couple of ones with low health, but he's got 4 lings on him now, so going to be going to run for it, and I do not blame him. Going to try and kite it. There's one ling that goes down, but it's, there we go, the Queen's out, and the Reaper has officially run out of options for harassment right now with Queens on the map. So he's just going to be running for it. We've got the command center coming out right now. We've also got the factory coming out. We've got the reactor going for some Hellion harass. That Reaper, man, really going nuts trying to kill the Queen, but did manage to get out at the very last second. Literally another kill would have destroyed it. We've got a starport coming out. This guy's going to be whacking down a tech lab. So we're going to go for the trifecta of harassment. The I don't know what a 3-word that starts with H is, because if there was like a trifecta except it starts with H, then you can say the trifecta of harassment, or well, whatever. So it's going to be Reapers, Hellions, and Banshees all coming out, all being extremely annoying. And yes, we're going to be seeing exactly how Life is going to deal with that. Is he going to get out extra queens? He's got 3 queens at the moment. But I kind of get the feeling that this Queen is for the third base, so I don't think he's building extras at the moment. So the 2 Queens are going to be able to hold off the Hellions for the most part. However, when you start to put in Banshee support, we have seen that actually a few days ago. I think there was a game. It might have, I think it was Ryung versus Scarlet, where Ryung got out some early Banshees and Hellions. It actually did quite a lot of damage with him. Actually managed to knock out the third base with them. Sniped at least 2 or 3 Queens with the Banshees. I mean, he just did a fantastic job. He had like 8 Hellions and 2 or 3 Banshees, and he kept the damage going. So it's no longer harassment. It was actually full-on DPS being spit out of the Hellions, being spit out of the Banshees. So we'll see if TaeJa decides to do something similar here. He's obviously finished with his starport tech, and probably going to be building a barracks there or something like that. Here we go, the Hellions coming in, having a crack on the Queens, but no, TaeJa deciding not to go for it. With 4 Queens, I do not blame him as well. He may be waiting for the Banshee support, actually. I don't think he's gone for Cloak, though. No Cloak, so the Banshee is just going to be in there to do as much DPS as it possibly can, and Life getting out Spore Crawlers at, well, that base anyway. He's got it on his main base. I suppose that's the most potentially exposed right now. I mean, this base is exposed, but there's no reason to attack it. This base definitely is exposed, and there's a very good reason to attack it. So great decision there to the Spore Caller, and it's just in time as well. The Banshee actually getting the range to kill some workers there. Great job on that range. I would have thought he'd be out of range there, but a bunch of Lings coming around the side. They got no chance of getting in this gap, and there are a few Marines behind to deal with them, so the Lings going to get scared away quite easily. And meanwhile, there's Hellion pack with a couple of Reapers in there as well, just sort of zooming around, not really doing too much. Maybe going to be chopping this force up. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Because, I mean, the Reapers, the Hellions, the Reapers, they really don't have much else they could be doing. They could do a ton of pressure on here, but all Life would have to do is just march the Queens over, and then you'd be fine. So, pretty good. He is going to go again, start putting some more pressure. He can definitely work on the creep early on, without even needing to scan, because this is the perfect time for the Zerg player to be pushing the creep out. So yeah, definitely working on the creep, not a bad idea. Trying to slow down that creep progression, always a good idea, because you don't want it to get out of control by like the 15-minute mark, which it definitely can be. Here we go, finishing this off. TaeJa going for a third base, actually going over here, which is a little bit interesting, because it's much closer to the Zerg base than you would otherwise expect. The Hellions trying to take out some Queens, but not really working just by themselves. With a bunch of Banshee, Banshee support, potentially that's when you can really start to snipe out Queens. But just Hellions by themselves, they have to be quite, you have to be quite lucky to actually take them all out. Ling's coming around, doing a bit of a loss in. They're going to go over here. Are they going to see the command center? No, it doesn't look like it. So TaeJa's expansion, safe for a little while longer. And I suppose surprise is really what's going to keep this base going, because, look, Life is going to be expecting this one. He's going to be scanning this one. If when he doesn't see this one, then he's going to be scanning this one. And that'll buy him a little bit of time. I was trying to select, where is Life? He's number 3. So yes, he has no idea that that base is currently there. We'll see how long it takes him to figure it out. There we go. It's knocking back the creep. Also got the Hellions and the Reapers taking out this base and splitting up Life's focus. Always a good opportunity. Got a bit of creep there, and I don't know if there's going to be enough time, but I think he's going to stick it out. I think he's going to go for this base. There we go. Actually destroyed it. Life could not manage to cancel it, or he decided not to cancel it. He thought he had more time, but great job there by TaeJa. And is he going to try and get the creep here? I'm not sure. With the Lings coming in, I don't think he's got enough here. He's going to have to drop out of there. But actually pulling off the creep, and the Lings decide not to chase him. TaeJa obviously feels like he's got enough, but with Banelings on the field, actually managed to snipe one of the Banelings there. Great job on the micro, sniping the Baneling as it was running away. We got the Hellions coming in here as well. They're pretty much expendable at the moment, so any sort of harassment, any sort of distractions they can provide are really just completely awesome. So yeah, TaeJa's not even bothering to save them right there. They're outlived their usefulness in this game. And of course, eventually you will need the supply for building Marines, Widow Mines, and all that other good stuff. So here we go, the main focus of TaeJa's army. He's got 1-1, he's working on 2-2, and Life is doing the same as well. Life a little bit further ahead on the upgrades, just a little bit, and it's getting level 1 attack as well. So it looks like the Mutaling is going to be in full production. He's currently producing 2 Mutas, and he's already got 10 on the field. So great job there. He's getting a 4th base as well. Probably going to be mostly for the gas, but I'm sure he'll be mining some minerals at some point over there. And here we go, TaeJa just struggling to keep some sort of hold on the middle of the field and not just let Life completely overwhelm the entire base. He's been doing a pretty good job with the creep, but TaeJa has been doing a pretty good job keeping it back. And now Life thinking about moving out. And here we go, the Widow Mine's coming up to the bottom of the ramp. Life obviously thinking is a good time to start harassing the 3rd base, but surprise, surprise, there's nothing there. So he's sort of like, yeah, what do I do now? I really don't think, he has no idea that the 3rd base is in the other location. So he's like, well, you know what? Maybe TaeJa's on 2 bases. Maybe that's what's happening. And if he goes for the natural expansion right now, that could be crazy. But TaeJa actually moving across manages to take out the 4th base. And the momentary confusion that Life seems to be suffering under, that there's no 3rd base there, is buying TaeJa a little bit of time. Is buying him a little bit of time to be doing stuff. Oh, he needs to get out of there. Great pickup with the dropship to pull those units out. But I think that Life's confusion has ended. He has guessed that there's a 3rd base over there, and he's going to be going for it. and he's going for it with everything. He's also sending in all of those lings into here. So maybe it wasn't confusion, maybe it was just an actual thing to move in here. The SCV is going to get owned here, and Life sending in this main force as well. And TaeJa is going to take care of this force, I think. But he lifts up his command center. But how many workers are going to be lost to this force, I just do not know. So many workers going down. He's down to 48. And finally got some Marine force back there to take care of these. But, man, so many great attacks happening from Life at the same time. And TaeJa literally having to run everywhere to try and defend. His base has lost quite a bit of workers there. And yeah, we'll see if he can come back from that. But I don't know, man. I mean, Life is right now, he is on the warpath. This is not a good idea, though. Moving in there is not a good idea. This is not the entrance you want to use. And the Ling's coming in, and the Baneling is actually getting some really nice hits off, but still Widow Mines in there. Still more than enough Widow Mines to deal with all this stuff. Another bunch of Banelings coming in there. The Muta's trying to make something happen, but there's too many Marines, there's too many Widow Mines, and now there are Thors on the map, and TaeJa has turned around, and now he's going to be going on the offensive to see exactly what he can get. And there is a 4th base over on the left side of the map now. If he figures that out, look at this Marine. Beautiful scout there, absolutely fantastic scout by that Marine. Just send one Marine out just to check. I mean, why the hell not? And now he knows it's there, and now it is going to be a target. The Muta's coming out to try and pull the attention away from that 4th base, and this base is actually relatively undefended. There's only one missile turret, so a few workers go down, and now they're going to be going for the production facilities right here, seeing what they could take out, going for a bunch of workers. And these bases, man, not very well defended. TaeJa pushing out quite a bit there, but he is going to be taking the hits. He's just lost another 10 workers. He is less than half of Life's current worker count, and that is a abysmal position to be in. Yeah, Overseer is actually getting destroyed there trying to get back. Well, one of them barely survived, but yeah, look at these guys coming around, and maybe just going to sneak inside the expansion here and just do so much more damage. But TaeJa's losing so many workers. I don't know if he can come back from this. He desperately needs to get as many workers out as he possibly can. But for now, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, he is going to be behind. He is going to be in trouble, and it's not a good position for him to be in. So here we go. He's pushing out here. This army should be able to take care of the Mutas, hopefully. But there's another bunch of Lings coming in here. He's managed to get up another army, though. He's managed to get up a ton of Marines, although the Banelings come in. Great split there by TaeJa. His micro is absolutely impeccable, and it's that sort of play which is going to get him back in the game. He just needs to work on his workers, and he just needs to beat back Life at every single opportunity. Bunch of Lings coming in here, but I think it's just Lings. No, Banelings backing them up, and this could be bad right here. The Marine count is starting to go down, and the Banelings are starting to do the damage, and here we go. Muta's coming in. There's nothing left. Meanwhile, TaeJa moving in here is trying to take this base out, but there's not a very large force here. He could potentially snipe the hatchery, but it's going to be close. Meanwhile, the Muta's coming in here. He's just continuing to produce a ton of Marines, and he is killing a lot of Mutas in there. So I definitely think that is worth it, even if you lose the Marines, as long as you take out a bunch of those guys. And this base is actually starting to look pretty bad. I think TaeJa can actually make this happen. And this is going to be pretty huge, because there we go. Another mining base goes down. The Muta's coming in. Do we have Marine support here? I got a little bit, not a lot though. TaeJa running on fumes, but this is a very decent force over here. And that's going to be able to trap the Mutas up against this corner. They've been in this corner a few times. Oh, TaeJa, what are you doing? Leaving the medevacs just out in the middle of the field. Obviously, attack moved to that position. The medevacs got that first. That was not a good idea. But another drop coming down there. The Mutas should be able to take care of that quite easily. And I think so anyway. They're going to be scared of this Widow Mines there. They're nearly going to be fine. Oh, we're not quite getting a hits off, but Marine reinforcements coming out. And so far, TaeJa has managed to hold on. He's lost so many workers, but he's still managed to produce enough of an army to keep things going. He's not actually producing workers anymore. Maybe he's just going for a full-on army. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he should still try and get the worker numbers back up to at least the 40 or 50 mark, to be at least on an even footing with Life, because otherwise long-term it's just not going to happen. You can't rely on your micro forever and ever and ever. It's just not going to happen. So there we go, the Ling's coming in. It raises this supply depot. There's no supply depot on the other side. And once again, a small force from Life is going to be forcing TaeJa to bring his army back to defend it. And I don't know, man. I mean, just keep the supply depots up. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but seriously, I mean, how many times has he just sent lings through there? It's just amazing. And here we go, another force coming in, and TaeJa, man, being pulled all over the place by this insane ling harassment from life. He's just everywhere at once. And look at this, this is his mutas actually, but I thought he was sending them around, but no, it's not going to happen as of yet. And the worker numbers just keep going down. He's down to 28. And this is not a good position for TaeJa to be in, because with this constant ling harassment, life is just eventually going to overwhelm TaeJa. I mean, the TaeJa, he's not in a position where he can move out and really make something happen. It's just, he's just not in that sort of position. He's got to defend his bases against all this ling pressure, and that means he cannot move out. As soon as he moves out, the lings move in. Look at these banelings coming in. Oh, great baneling, great Widowmine hits though. One baneling does survive but gets taken out by Marines. So that's some good defense by TaeJa. That didn't require him to actually have his main army there. And now he's going to be moving out. Now that he's defended that baneling incursion, he feels a little bit more confident. He's going to come in here. This base is going to go down. He's going to start to turn it around. And he really does need to turn it around, because right now the economy is not favouring him at all. The economy is, yeah, it's bad. It's very bad for TaeJa. So he's got to make the most of every single unit at this point, the absolute most. And if he can continue to deny these fourth bases over and over again, then maybe he can make it work. Maybe he can actually turn the economy around on its head, because the thing is, life has so many workers, he's pretty much mined out his first two bases, and this base is going to be done fairly soon, so he desperately needs a fourth base. Whereas TaeJa, man, he's only just put this base down. It's got a lot of minerals. This one's starting to run out, but yeah, I mean, he's got this base back, and this base is actually going to be a bit easier to defend because it's right up against the north side. So maybe that's the advantage to take a third base in a riskier location. It means you can roll your fourth base back, and it's a bit easier to hold. And it looks like TaeJa is going to be doing that. He's going to be focusing on taking out the fourth bases while getting this easily defendable fourth base back at the very north position. And it may be working out for him here, because look at how much minerals he's got with only 35 workers. His income is actually quite awesome, and it's simply because he's had such a great job in actually taking out these fourth bases. This is a lifeline right now for life. If he cannot get something mining that ASAP and actually hold it, then he is going to be in a lot of trouble. But I don't know if he actually can. Look at all the workers that just got demolished right there. TaeJa doing such a good job. He's basically, he was running on fumes for so long, just building like 4 Marines at a time, and somehow still managed to hold up Life's main army. The mutas are going in here, but this is a horrible engagement for the mutas to go into. I mean, it's just so bad, and Life gives the GG, and I gotta say, man, I was not expecting that at all. Everything, all of my experience with casting tells me that Life is at 70 workers and TaeJa is at 35, that TaeJa will die a slow death, a slow macro death. But TaeJa, man, he did some exceptionally good engagements, he had exceptionally good micro, and he had a long-term plan, and the long-term plan was to pull this out, put this out, hold it on, and then get a safer fourth base later on. And I suppose Life was a victim of his own greed to some degree, because he got a ton of macro, he got a ton of stuff out, and that means, economy-wise, that, yeah, basically, eventually, he would, only bases he had left were the fourth and the fifth bases. The only bases he was able to mine from were the exposed bases. TaeJa had this, which is a lot easier to hold on to, and a lot more minerals in it, and Life, he just had the exposed bases, that's it. And then TaeJa found it easier and easier to just go in and snipe them. And I mean, I think he was a better loss ratio. You can see that TaeJa, he didn't have as much macro, but he had better, he traded a lot more favorably with Life's units. Life was just going for a massive amount of lings everywhere. It was a good plan, but it sucked a lot of minerals out of him. He used up a lot of minerals. He had a better economy, but he was using it up twice as much. He was using his minerals up twice as much. And that meant that he starved out his easily defendable bases a lot faster, and then he was forced to go back onto these bases, which are a lot riskier. And meanwhile, TaeJa had this base, which is quite easily defendable. And that's it. Beautiful stuff there. Beautiful overarching strategy by TaeJa. I don't know if he explicitly planned it to go like that, or if it just worked out to his favor, but it was awesome nonetheless. Anyway, that has been this game. It has been awesome. Thank you very much for watching this game. Stay tuned for another one tomorrow. I'll catch you guys then. This has been Hairy Muppet.